In this video I'll show you how I captured the Milky Way and the comet in just under 5 minutes using the Dwarf 3 smart telescope. We will go Astro mode, Gain, and we will go Calibration, Confirm. We will wait to calibrate, then we will find the comet and capture it. Since calibration can take up to 1 minute, I did speed up this part of the video along with the timer, so you won't get bored waiting. It's now calibrated. Now we will go Atlas. We will search the comet. Then we select manual go to. Success. We'll select 15 seconds, exposure, and gain 40. No more because we have strong wind. So we will go 15 seconds and go for a stack of 1 minute. Okay. And we have a stack of 1 image. And at 50 seconds, we do have some small trace here because of the wind. The live stack of 1 minute with the comet using the telephoto lens. We will go wide now and shutter 1 second, gain 140. Before starting the plan, I moved a little bit the Dwarf 3, so we have the Milky Way in the left part of the image. Now we will go shutter. Let's go with 15 seconds, gain 60, and we will start the plan. Continue current shooting. This will be gain 60, 15 seconds, and another minute. So in about 5 minutes, we could capture the comet and the Milky Way with the telephoto lens and the wide fields if we are in a hurry and know the settings that we need to use. Here we have the first image. We'll probably go for a longer stack with gain 40 or 60 later. Now we'll stop it. This is how I captured the Milky Way and the Comet C 2023 A3 Tsuchinshan-ATLAS in just under 5 minutes using the Dwarf 3. And I was wondering if I can do it so fast, and the answer is yes, you can do it if you know exactly the settings you want to use. Just capturing the comets with good quality, you need at least 1 minute for each plan, 1 minute for the telephoto lens, and 1 minute for the wide field lens. So that is totally 2 minutes and probably another 20 seconds or 15 seconds until it will save the stacks. And the rest of the time is calibrating and finding the comets and getting all the settings the right way. Normally, if you are not in a hurry, it will probably take longer because this was like a challenge, how fast I can image the Milky Way and the comet with both lenses using the Dwarf 3 smart telescope. By the way, if you are interested in ordering the Dwarf 3, affiliate links are available in the video description. Now, before ending the video, I do want to give you some tips on how to capture the Milky Way and the comet with the Dwarf 3 if you want to go now while it's still visible. I think these tips will help you. Also for the Milky Way, I have a full tutorial that you can check on my channel, and I will make it also available in the video description. First, when you want to capture also the comet and the Milky Way, you might also wonder if you should go in alt-azimuth mode, the default mode of the Dwarf 3, or equatorial, because the Dwarf 3 can also capture the comet in equatorial mode, and it can give you also a wider field of view because it will allow you to frame it better. However, if you want to capture both in a short time, I do recommend you to just go default in alt-azimuth mode. Just get the Dwarf 3 on a tripod and start imaging. As you saw, it can be very fast. It will find the comet, it will track, and you'll be able to start capturing in minutes. I made this test to see how fast can you image now with a smart telescope like the Dwarf 3, and you can capture the Milky Way and the comet like the C 2023 A3 ATLAS, and being able to get good images in just a couple of minutes is amazing. Of course, you can leave the plan longer, and that is exactly what I've done. After finishing the 1-minute test, I decided to go with a longer plan and capture more the Milky Way and the Comet, and I selected like 250 images because this will give me a better live stack in the end with much better quality. And you can use also these images to make a video time-lapse. So here on settings with the wide field lens, I'll say from 10 to 30 seconds is a very good range. To start, I just went with 10 seconds, gain 60, because it gave me more images that I can also use for a time-lapse video. So these were the settings used for the wide field lens. On the telephoto lens, I was already focused when I started. If you haven't focused before on the stars, I suggest you do with the Dwarf C, so you'll have sharp stars in your images. Also, if you have focus, let's say one day before, and you want to make sure the focus is correct, you can do it again. Now, after you have set it up, the Dwarf 3, you have good focus and you are ready to start. If you are using the telephoto lens to make a live stack with the Comet C 2023-A3 Atlas, for the moment, the best options is to go with short stacks of 4 images, because after 4 images at the moment, Dwarf 3 will start dithering and you'll start having threads in your images or elongation on the Comet. So because of that, I suggest just go with shorter plans of 4 exposures. And if the conditions are good, you don't have wind, you don't have threads in your image, you can go also in longer exposures from 30 to 60 seconds. That will also give you better signal to noise ratio and better quality. When I made this test, I went in the rural area, Borta Sky 3, near a very nice monument that you can see behind me, the Bobulna monument. It was very beautiful, about 700 meters altitude. We could see everything. Unfortunately, we still had some clouds and haze, not as much as night before, so I went 2 nights to be able to get a good view of the Comet and the Milky Way. Even so, some clouds were there, were present, not the best conditions. But as you see in the images, the results were very good, even on short live stacks. Another tip that you can use, don't forget about dark frames. If you're imaging with 10-15 seconds exposures and you have difference of temperature, it's best to take the dark frames again, so you won't have any hot pixels in the final live stacks. If you have a strong wind, go with a shorter tripod, place it lower, so the effect of the wind will be smaller. Also, you can go place it somewhere close to the car, then it will be more protected. And if you have a taller tripod, I suggest to set it lower, because if the Dwarf 3 will be higher and the wind will blow hard, it will affect the Dwarf 3 more compared with the situation when the Dwarf 3 is very close to the ground. Also, make sure the Dwarf 3 is charged and you have enough space on the SD card before going and capturing the Milky Way or any comets. I hope these tips will help you get better images with the Dwarf 3 and capture also the Milky Way, capture comets. And if you want to see more information on how to capture the Milky Way, you can check also my full tutorial on the channel, where I show how to capture the Milky Way with the Dwarf 3 Smart Telescope in more details. I want to give big thanks to all the channel members that are supporting the channel, and if you want to support the channel also, feel free to hit that join button and you'll get access also to master photography data. If you enjoyed watching, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and I hope I'll see you in the next video.